Welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video. It's your boy Sam. Welcome to Sam Codes. I know what today we're continuing our Google Map API tutorials, and what we're doing here is whenever someone visits your website, you can track their location. And what we did right here is we added a marker to the location, and you can see right here you have this marker right here, and that's my location. We could customize this later and even add it to a database, the location. So there are cool things we can do with this. Leave it down in the comments below if you have any nice and cool suggestion, guys, and I might try to make it happen. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, please. I upload videos like this and even many more cool stuff. And you know what, like the vid too. Comment but down below if you have any questions. And you know what, let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to create our API key. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description to get to your Google Console. If you don't have a Google Console, just create an account and then you should have something similar to mine. And what we'll do right here is we need to create a new project. So we'll go right here. You can see new project. So you create new project. And this is going to be tracker. Just call it that. And then we create it. Now we've created the tracker API. We need to get into it. So you can see right here. So you just click on it like that. So now we're in the project we just created, the tracker project we just created. The next thing we need to go to library. And the library we're going to enable is this right here, Maps JavaScript API. That's all we need, just the Maps JavaScript API, and we enable it. So now we've enabled it. And I'll also show you how you can, if you don't have a subscribers account or a billing account, don't worry, it's completely free. But yeah, you need to have a billing account so you don't have a watermark on your map. If you have a watermark on your map, that means you need to create a billing account. I'll leave the link down below. You will have to put your card details, but it's completely free. And yeah, if you don't want to leave your card details, everything is still gonna work, but you will just have the watermark. So just want you to know that. Now you can see right here we have this enabled, Maps API. The next thing we need to create our API key. And the way we do that is we click right here and then we go to APIs and services. The next thing we go to credentials. Now in credentials, you can see this right here that says create credential. We click on it and you can see here API key. I will click on that too. Now we have our API key. We don't need to restrict it, but maybe later when your code is live, you can restrict it to some websites or whatever you want to restrict it to, some domain names and all that. But we don't need to do that. So we copy it and close. So that's all about creating your API. We've done that now. The next thing is right here. You can see that, and I'll leave the link to this part right here. You can see right here that we need to get our script tag. So this script tag, we're going to paste it in our HTML file. And this script tag is going to have our API key right here. So that's the next thing we're going to do. You can see right here that we have our HTML file. I called it map.html. And then we have the style.css and an app.js. So these are all the files we need. And you can see also right here that I actually just linked the HTML file to the JavaScript and I linked the HTML file to the CSS. And after that, you can just see title here and its browser location. You can put whatever you want on your title, but that's what I chose because it doesn't really matter. Depending on what you want, you put that there. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to create a h1 tag. And the h1 tag is going to say track website user. I know I just put users location using Google Maps API. And after this, we'll create a div, and this div is going to hold our map. So create this div and we'll give it an ID. of map. Now I'm going to paste the link that I showed you earlier. Now this link right here, I'm going to copy it and I'll paste it right here. And you see this place that it says key equals to your API key. Now we're going to paste our API key right there. And I'm going to show you again how to get your API key. So right here you can see our API key. I'm just going to click copy. And I paste it. So now we have our API key. That's good for that part. The next part is the CSS. The CSS, you can just see right here, I left this import. I did that real quickly. This is just Google Fonts. You can get it easily. You go to www.googlefonts. I'll leave a link and you choose whatever font you want. And you can link it to your HTML or CSS. I chose to link it to the CSS. Now we'll do the margin, set it to 0, set our padding to 0, and box sizing to border box. After this, the body, we're going to display flex. We're also going to align items, put it to center, justify content to center too. I'll give it a flex direction so everything will be like a column. So that's why we choose column. And the font family. The font family is going to be Poppins. And sans serif. And just style the H1 too to make it look a little bit better. Give it a background color. And the background color is going to be RGB 116, 137, and 255. That's the background color. And the color is going to be RGB again, 22, 78, and 131. And I'm going to add text transform and just make everything uppercase. I will add a font weight of 700 and a padding of 10 pixels. Now if I use live server, you can see right here what we have. I'm also going to add a border radius of 30 pixels. Okay, I will style the map even though we don't have it yet, but I'll just style it. So I'll call it with the ID. That's why we're using this pound sign right here, or this hash sign. But you should know that if you're if you know CSS, but yeah, I'm just gonna explain that too. And the width, I'm gonna give it 100%. And after that, I'll also add a height of 80%, 80 VH, and also a padding of 10 pixels. But nothing is showing because we haven't created the map. So next is the JavaScript. Now for the JavaScript, we'll have X and we'll say navigator dot geolocation. Then we say X dot get current, and make sure you spell all this correctly, because if they're not spelled correctly, they won't work. Position, get current position, and we'll say success with double S, C and S, and failure. After that, we'll create a function success, and as its input, we'll put position. I will create two variables for the latitude and longitude. So say my lat is equal to position dot coords, short for coordinate, then latitude. And similar thing, my long is equal to position dot coords dot longitude. Now, what we're going to do is we'll say var coords is equal to new Google dot maps dot lat with a capital L, lat long, or lat LNG. And then inside there we'll put my lat my long. The next thing, we need to create our variable map options to really tell Google how we want our map to be. And this should be equal to this right here. So we have first the zoom, and 10. You can make your zoom the way you want it to be. You can make it more lower. I would actually advise you to make your zoom like maybe a 1 and see how accurate this map is, because it's extremely accurate. I won't do that, but you can see like the city I live in. But it's so accurate you would actually see your street. So yeah, that's a really nice thing to see too. And the center is going to be the chords. That should be your location. And then map type ID, make sure the T is a capital and the I is a capital too. We'll say Google dot maps dot map with a capital in this case, and type 2 with a capital T, map with a capital M, type with a capital T, and ID with a capital I. This is really important. And roadman, all capital. Roadmap, not roadman. Oh my gosh. Leave it down below if you know what a roadman is. But yeah, people who know what a roadman is will know why I'm laughing. And then we say var map is equal to new Google dot maps dot map with a capital M. And inside that we say document dot get element by ID. And the element we're getting is our map that we created in our HTML file. And then say map options, because it has to have all the, this is an object and it has to have all the details of this object, our map. You can see the zoom, the center, and the map ID. Next thing, we're creating a marker because we want a marker to show up. So say new marker is equal to new Google dot maps with S dot marker with a capital M, and this should be a squarely bracket. This should be a curly bracket, not a square bracket. And then say map is equal to map, and position is chords. So that's where the marker should be on our chords. And that's it for our function success. But you can see that here we have function success and failure. And failure right now is not the same colors because we haven't created our failure function. So we just say function fail. No, I'm just gonna copy it. I can spell failure, but I don't even want to try to right now. And yeah, so we just do like this, and that's all we need to do for that. Now you can see failure is the same. It's the same color code. So that's it for this. And right now, if I save everything, you can see voila, we have our map right here. It's working out. I'm happy it's actually showing for the developer purpose. You can see it's working, but I have a billing account. I don't know why it's showing this, but yeah, it's a little bit surprising. And if you start this, because I've done this earlier, it's not asking me. But if yours is not working, you need to make sure you enable. You see here it says continue allowing this site to access your location. You have to allow that. If you don't allow that, it's not going to work. And normally when you do this the first time, you get a pop-up that says, do you want to allow Google
It's also
to
asking
access
that
your
this is for
location?
it shows
And you
showing the
should click
watermark I talked
yes.
about.
But I do have it installed, so that's something I will check out, and I'll leave it down in the comments below why am I actually showing this. Maybe there's some settings I need to do because Google is always updating, so you never know. Normally, I've been doing this for like a while now, and I've never had this show up. So I'll check that out and I'll update you guys about that. But yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned from it. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. I know what, like the video if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Many more videos are coming your way, guys. Join the community right here. I know what, I really appreciate everyone that is joining this community. I love the feedback, the questions, and everything you guys are doing. I will actually start a weekly live session that I'll at least have a live video where I live stream and all that. You guys can ask me questions and all that. I'll have that at least once a week. Been a little bit busy last month, so that's why it wasn't possible. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up and I'll keep things moving and I'll see you all in the next YouTube video.